Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Monday and happy first day of Module 4. We are getting ready to get into adding and subtracting with two-digit numbers, and today is our first lesson for that. And today we're kind of going to continue what we did last week and just doing some patterning and adding and subtracting tens and ones. So I don't think you're going to have a hard time with today's. I'm going to start out just by talking about some patterning. When we look at a pattern of numbers, we need to decide what has happened to the number. Has it gotten larger? Has it gotten smaller? And what has changed? So if I look at these three numbers that I have typed in here, 27, 37, 47, my tens place is changing and it's getting bigger. So in between 27 and 37, we've added 10. Between 37 and 47, we've added 10. So I'm going to continue that pattern. I'm going to add a 10. So that 4 will change into a 5, and my ones place does not change because I'm not adding any ones. I'm going to add a 10. 5 tens plus 1 10 is 6 tens. My 7 ones remains the same. And then if I add another 10, my 6 tens become 7 tens, and my 7 ones remain the same. On this next pattern, my tens place is changing 9, 8, 7. But if you notice, it's getting smaller. So I'm subtracting 10 in this pattern. So 92 minus 10 is 82. 82 minus 10 is 72. So if I take a 10 away from 7 tens, I would have 6 tens. My 2 ones would remain the same. If I take 10 away from 6 tens, I get 5 tens. My 2 remains the same. And if I take 10 away from 5 tens, I get 4 tens, and my 2 remains the same. So just paying attention to what number is changing, whether it's the ones, tens, or hundreds place, and whether it's going up or down. If it's getting larger, you're adding. If it's getting smaller, you're subtracting. You are going to be introduced to something called the arrow method in today's lesson, and all the arrow method is horizontal math. It's sometimes we see math written vertically, like 25 plus 10. Today, we're just going to be doing it horizontally, which means sideways. So not a big deal. Your parents will probably say they don't know what they're talking about, but that you can just say it just means when we're doing math horizontally or sideways. So in this one, I'm going to do 25 plus 10. I'm adding 1 to the tens place. Remember, the tens place is the second place from the right. So this would be 35. If I look to the next arrow, I'm going to add 1, 1. So now the ones place is going to change. So the 3 remains the same. 5 plus 1 is 6. Now I'm going to add 10. So now the tens place is going to change. 3 plus 1 is 4, and the 6 remains the same. 46 minus 1, that's 1, 1. So the ones place is going to be what changes. 6 minus 1 is 5, and the 40 stays the same. And then 45 minus 1 would be 44. So that's all the arrow method is horizontal math, where we look at the arrow and decide what the next number would be in the pattern. On some of the problems today, you have to decide what's going on the arrow. They might give you the numbers of the pattern, and you have to decide what's happened between each one of those numbers. So if I look at 39, and then it changes to 49, what place changed? The tens place changed, and it got bigger, so I added a 10. 49 to 48, what place changed? The ones place changed, 9, 8, that's getting smaller, so subtract. And since it's the ones place that changed, we subtracted 1. And then 48 to 58, the tens place changed, and it went up 1, so we added a 10. Boys and girls, I have attached the problem set to your Google Classroom, but hopefully you came through the drive-through the other day and picked up your new math workbook. So if you did pick up your new math workbook, you're going to be doing the first 2 pages. down at the it just as long as it says lesson 1 at the top right, it says lesson 1 problem set. The page numbers down at the bottom is 4A11 and 4A12. And so just we would prefer you work in your workbook than working on the computer. For one, that just gets you a little bit away from the computer. And another, that way we can see how you write your numbers and how you're doing your work, and just making sure that you're practicing doing the writing part, because sometimes we do too much stuff on the computer. So if you have any questions about anything, just let your teacher know. And I hope you have a fantastic day.